I'm not surprised. What's happened. Do I think it's a bit unfair? Probably, yeah.
Well, we're here in Miami with Dan Ticktum, friend of the show now. You've been on this show so many times. And this is your home race now for Cupra Kiro with everything that's happened with this team in the last few years. And you must be feeling good because, you know, 2 top 10 finishes this season.
Yeah.
Things are on the up. Big games this weekend?
Yes. I mean, I would say this is probably going to be our biggest event as a team of the year. This is the biggest event for us. Home race, like you say. All of the majority shareholders and some of the minor shareholders are all going to be here. There's lots of people from Cupra. There's a lot of pressure. But I'm looking forward to it. Honestly, the track's great. Like, I've enjoyed that on the sim. And yeah, like you said, I think, you know, everything came about very late last year to get everything prepared and to hit the ground running would have been quite a tall ask. But I think, honestly, we did largely a good job, but there was definitely some things that we needed to get on top of. And I think we're a lot further down the line now. But for me personally, you know, I sort of helped in the whole, you know, transition of this whole deal coming about. So like to be a part of this whole thing is very cool. And yeah, I think we're getting there. Let's just put it like that. We're getting there, and I think we should. We'll see. I want to say get a podium at some point this year. That's the sort of goal from my side. But yeah, we just need to see what we've achieved after the break. A lot of work and behind the scenes. A lot of work at the factory on our sim as well. We've got a sim like up and running and working pretty well now, so that's cool. Yeah, it's full steam ahead. It's nice to, you know, have a good solid backing because the last 3 years, you know, we've been the smallest and poorest team.
Yeah.
So now, you know, it feels like a proper team now. So it's really cool to be a part of the whole thing. And yeah, I'd like to be here for a while, I think. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, it feels like Cupra Kiro are doing the cool stuff as well because last time we were in Miami, it was Mr. Beast. Now it's a link up with Marvel. Do you know how that came about?
It's great. I do, yes. John's got better details than me. But it happened through Cupra mainly, I believe. But it's it's great to be involved in that kind of stuff. And I think, you know, that's what Formula E and Formula E especially should be focusing on is, you know, obviously the sustainability aspect is very important, but I think we've just got to make the sport cool at the end of the day. Like, you know, we can't constantly hark on about sustainability. Like, I think that's very important and obviously one of the main factors of the championship. But I think doing stuff like we're doing, you know, with big content creators, you know, film studios and stuff like that. That's great, you know. So I think it's really cool.
And there's a new livery on the car, which I've had a sort of sneak preview of at the moment. Have you actually driven the car with the same livery at any race this year? It feels like it's changed every time.
It has changed every time. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I think it's really, really cool. Yeah, the whole thing's cool.
Along with Idris Elba, this is going to really help your desire to go into the film industry.
Well, yeah, I am trying. I think I spoke to you about that briefly. Not in a huge rush, but I do want to start my own car TV show. Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Beast could surely help. What did you make of his impact?
Interested in helping, maybe. So we'll see. Yeah. As I'm halfway down the line of starting something, but yeah, I think come the end of the year, I'll have some stuff filmed, hopefully.
Awesome. I like that. Yeah. You say you like the track, then what is it about this track you like? It's a proper kind of speedway here in Homestead.
Well, it's a cool venue. You know, a lot of racing history here, but it's just the layout of the circuit. Some of the turn 1, 2, 3, 4 are really, really nice. Good flow to them. The high speed corner after the chicane, I think it's turn 12. You know, nice flat curb and it's fast. So I think, you know, if Harama's anything to go by, we don't seem to have been able to get the tyre to work or everything in a window in other circuits, but the tracks with high load like Harama and this looks relatively similar on paper. I'm quite hopeful. I think this sort of track will suit me as well because Formula E car is very hard to drive and on fast circuits it's moving around a lot because there's not a lot of grip and, you know, it's just challenging. So yeah, if we can get everything in the window, I think we'll be fast.
Awesome. Speaking of things that are hard to drive, you know where I'm going. I know you like to give opinions. I know you watch other motorsports. We've already seen a change in another series in F1 after 2 races.
Of course.
I mean, you were part of that family a while back.
Yeah.
Are you surprised in any way that they've made such a cutthroat decision?
Well, I don't like talking about Formula One too much because, it's still difficult for me to live with everything that happened to me. But yeah, let's not talk about me. I think Liam is a very, very good driver. I didn't know him that well when he was first picked up by Red Bull. And I remember vividly there was an F2 race, I think it was 2021. It was damp on slicks in Monaco and he was in front of me. And up until that point, I thought, he's good, but I didn't really think much of him. And I just was watching how he was driving in that race and like how much the car was moving because they were difficult to drive, those cars. And I was just like, okay, yeah, this kid's very good. So I rate Liam very highly. Do I think it's not my place to say really anymore? I'm not surprised what's happened. Do I think it's a bit unfair? Probably, yeah, because I don't think Liam had actually been to either of those circuits either. However, when you got a driver qualifying in the top 5 and a driver at the back, it's quite difficult in high up in Red Bull's position to allow that to happen. So I get it, but I think that's a bit. It's going to ruin. I think Liam's relatively strong mentally, so I hope he deals with it well, and I hope he looks at the positives. Like he's still in Formula One. He still made it. So I hope it's not affecting him too much.
It's tough out there.
Yeah,
we're going to Japan soon. Yeah, and we've seen that in the Japanese Grand Prix last weekend, which was particularly boring.
Yeah, that was terrible. Yeah,
that Lando turned up in a Nissan Skyline in Liberty Walk.
Thing, yeah,
and I know you've got a car from them as well. What did you make?
Well, I was gonna get a car from them. Unfortunately, I'm not quite paid enough at the moment.
Right, okay.
Before that, but I mean, if I was on the 30 million quid a year, I'd probably have 10 Liberty Walk cars. Put it like that. So yeah, I've always loved Liberty Walk. It's definitely something I'll do in the future. And I'd love to do like a collab with them. And I'm trying to work in the next few months. I'm going to try and work on sort of getting my profile up there a bit more, try and work with the guys here at P64 to like try and elevate my brand a little bit. And obviously all those things help. And then hopefully me and Liberty Walk will be able to do something cool as well. But, they won't find any racing driver more passionate about that brand or cars than me. So, yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's big words considering Lando's got his nice looking Skyline there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Look, I reckon, given that Cupra Kiro are like doing all these collabs, I reckon that's an easy in now. I think.
I think it. I think it can happen. I wanted to do an Aventador, Liberty Walk Aventador. That's what I wanted to do.
Right.
So.
Fingers crossed. Look,
we'll see.
When that acting money starts coming in,
well,
you'll be laughing.
Yeah.
30 million a film there, not just per year. That's what it is.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Okay.
But I just need to be careful with my money because this sport is not always definite where you're going to be next year. So
you got to think to the future.
Yeah.
Finally, I've seen we had quite a lot of weeks off now. Yes. What you've been up to? I see a lot of beers on cars. What's that all about?
That's one of my. So in London, I mean, we all live quite close. There's probably a group of 10, 15 of us. But Pints on Cars was, I think it was set up by two brothers, and it's just there's some great puns on there. Like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, I often tag them because if I'm at the pub and I normally stand outside next to my car because, just what I do. And then
showing off, it's fine. You can say that.
Not really. I don't want people falling into it, and I always stand outside. But anyway, yeah.
Okay, good. Right. Finally, obviously, we catch up all the time. We got this race coming up here. It's a huge race for the team, given the team being an American-backed team now. What is achievable out there? Give me an idea of how this race is going to go. What's it going to be like for the fans watching back in the UK?
It really depends. Okay, the race, there's a lot of coasting, a lot of energy saving. So literally anything could happen in this race. Like, I think if you qualify last, I don't think it really matters. It's that kind of thing. So like, you've got to adapt in the race very quickly to what the front few cars are doing, depending on where you are, make sure that no one gets away. But if you're clever in the first 10 laps and you build up an energy advantage, it's, we've seen it at Portland where, the Jag or even in Berlin, they just drive past 15 cars in 2 laps. So I think that'll definitely happen. Like if someone qualifies slightly out of place, say the Jags or us or one of the Porsches qualifies 15th, I think, there'll be quite a lot of saving at the start and then they'll start rocketing through halfway through the race.
Got you.
So I think there's going to be a lot of it's going to be a very unpredictable race. I think it'll be one of the most entertaining of the year.
Excellent stuff. Well, look, we wish you the best of luck this
Yeah,
weekend.
thank you.
Look forward to seeing this new livery, and hopefully we'll get you on that podium.
I hope
Let's
so.
just say sooner rather than later. Let's just say this weekend.
Yeah, exactly. All right, perfect. Thank you very much, mate.